All right, let's go ahead and get started. Talk about motivation, meditation, and inspiration. 1 hour sets. First 30 minutes could be about focus. Let's go ahead and start getting into it. Let's start getting that exercise going. Let's go ahead and start getting that practice going. Let's go ahead and start putting ourselves in a place where we start to recognize that we have what it takes, that we can overcome our own challenges, that we can be within ourselves, that we can focus to the place where what comes on the outside is manifestation, that we have the ability to do it, that we have inside of ourselves what it takes, that the challenges that you face off against you have the ability to overcome. So let's go ahead and start talking about some of these challenges, how we can overcome them, how we can utilize energy, the ability to read energy, and the ability to utilize the level of focus within ourselves. So let's go ahead and start looking at this. Let's look at the challenges that we face off against on a daily, how we can overcome those challenges. Like I was saying, you can connect with my networks, motivation, meditation, inspiration.yoga, all one word, my YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope as well there. So as we continue, we start putting ourselves in that place. We start getting down. We start recognizing that focus is an ability. Let's go ahead and start breaking that down. We got about 30 minutes. We're going to talk about focus. So what are some of the things that you can utilize to focus? What are some of the tools that you can utilize? What are some of the challenges that you're facing off against? How are you utilizing those challenges on a daily? These are all the types of questions that we're going to ask ourselves. These are the types of things. These are the types of places that's going to give us the ability to exercise, the ability to exercise our mind, the ability to exercise our ability to see that we are a blessing in the universe, that the challenges that we face off against, we can overcome. The challenges that we face off against, we have the ability to take over. We have the ability to take control of our day, our week, our month, our year. So let's get into it. Let's start getting down with ourselves. Let's start getting to that place where we're using the tools that we do have, because it's never about the tools that you don't have. It's always about what you have and what you do with what you got. So what do you have? You have yourself. You have your ability. You have your ability to stand up for yourself. You have your ability to be who you truly are on the inside. So let's go ahead and start breaking that down. How can we start focusing? How can we start getting into this place? How can we give ourselves the ability? By writing stuff down, by putting things in front of us, by actually seeing it, by the ability to actually achieve it through manifestation, through the reflection outwards from our own level of focus. So when you focus to the point where other people won't go, when you're willing to be who you are, when you're willing to use the gifts that you have, the ability for the Most High God to utilize you works through you. When you give yourself that place, when you truly are going through challenges and you focus, that's what it's about. Putting yourself in a place of focus, where it's not you versus somebody else, where it's you standing up for you, when it's you putting yourself inside of you, when you're speaking out the way that you truly feel, when you're putting yourself in a place where you're utilizing the things that you read, the things that you speak, the things that you put out. So let's go ahead and start talking about some of these tools. Let's go ahead and start talking about writing stuff down. Let's go ahead and start talking about how we can start doing that. So what are some of the ways that you can write stuff down? You can put yourself in front of it and you could say, okay, I'm going to write down all the positive. I'm going to write down all the things that happen. I'm going to write all of that down. Or you could say, I'm going to write everything down. I'm going to put everything in front of myself. When you do that, you can see it. When you do that, you have the ability to achieve it. And so when you see those challenges that you have in front of you, when you truly see those challenges that you have in front of you, the ability to overcome those challenges start coming to you. The ability to work through those challenges start coming to you. The ability to focus to that level comes to you. And so when you give yourself that, when you put yourself in that place, when you start to manifest those things as a reflection on the outside, we start to utilize these challenges. Blessings, Tobias. We start to utilize these things in front of us. We start to see that we're no longer a victim. We start to see that we can conquer, that we can achieve, that we can use the parts of what we have to overcome our challenges. And so when we look inside, when we look in the ability to focus to that level, when we give ourselves that place where what we have inside is that, when we give ourselves those kinds of challenges, when we put those things in front of ourselves and we recognize it's not somebody else who's going to pick you up. It's not somebody else that's going to do it for you. It's you that's going to do it for you. It's you that's going to go through the challenges. It's you that's going to stick up for yourself. It's you that's going to focus to the point where those things have the ability to move out of the way. And so when you see somebody focusing to that level, recognize that's what the reflection of motivation is. So if you ask yourself every day, am I motivated? Ask yourself first the question, am I focused? Am I putting myself in a place where I'm utilizing my level of focus? Am I putting myself in a place where I am giving myself the ability to be who I truly am? Am I putting myself in a place where when I do write stuff down, I see everything in front of me? I see every challenge that I have. I put myself in a place where the reflection radiates outwards, where the actual ability to write stuff down. So there's a lot of people that I'm working with in different ways. And so one of the biggest challenges is starting. One of the biggest challenges is seeing that you can do it, that you can put yourself in a place where you can overcome it, when you could see it in front of yourself. When you truly put it in front of yourself, then you can write it down. When you give yourself the ability to write it down, you have the ability to achieve it. So why is it so important for us to write stuff down? Because when we give ourselves that, when we give ourselves that tool, when we truly put that tool in front of ourselves, then we can look at that. We can see those types of patterns. We can start putting ourselves in a place where we can see the negative and the positive forces working in our favor. We start to understand the universe at that level. We start to understand challenges at that level. We start to give ourselves that place. We start to get down with our challenges to that level. We're actually becoming a place of reflection from our level of focus. We're actually becoming a place of understanding from our level of focus. We're actually becoming manifested on the outside from within. And so when we give ourselves that, we start to see that that tool comes from the ability to use it. That tool, the tools that are there for you are there to help you. They're there for you to see the positivity in them. They're there for you to utilize the positivity in them. They're there for you to recognize that you can do this, that you can master it, that you can utilize your challenges, that your challenges are there to teach you. The challenges are there to help you. The challenges are there for you to overcome. And what I mean by this is to identify the positive in the challenges, to identify the place in the challenges, to identify the focus in the challenges. So when we let ourselves have that kind of process, we put ourselves to write stuff down, we put stuff in front of ourselves, we start to exercise it, we start to use it as a strength, we start to use it as an ability, then you can see it in front of yourself. So when you put yourself in a challenge, you already are prepared. You're already prepared mentally. You're already able. You already have it there. You have it in a place of focus where the things that aren't meant for you start moving out of their way on their own. They start putting themselves out of the way so that you can see the blessings that are inside of you, so that you can see the challenges, so the universe has the ability to use that gift through you. So you start to see that you have what it takes. So when you start to focus to that level, when you give yourself that, when you truly write stuff down, and I mean you see it in front of yourself, you start to see it at a level where other people wouldn't go. You start to have it at a level where other people wouldn't. And so when you see that level of focus, you start to identify the positive and negatives are actually moving in your direction, that they're actually moving for you, that they're actually utilizing you, that you have what it takes, that you can do it, that you can achieve it, that you can utilize the energy inside of you. The understanding of utilization of this energy becomes available to you. So it's up to you to focus to that level. It's up to you to give yourself that place. It's up to you to give yourself those kinds of challenges. It's ultimately up to you to get down with you. It's up to you to face off against you. And it's up to you to pick you up. So when we start doing this, blessings, we start getting into that place. We start getting into that place of focus. We start getting into that foundation. We start putting ourselves where we are starting to write stuff down, where we're starting to get these things going, where we're giving ourselves those kind of blessings in our direction. We can utilize the positivity by seeing it in front of ourselves, by writing it down and identifying how we can overcome our own challenges. So let's go ahead and start into the ability to listen to positivity. Listen, when you allow the things into your mind, when you allow the things into your mind that are positive, things start coming your way. When you allow the things in your mind that put you in a place where you're focusing on the reflection of motivation, when you're focusing on the ability to see where other people are going with positivity, when you're turning off those things that would not allow the subconscious to be positive, when you're giving yourself the ability to only allow it to move in one direction, when you're giving yourself the ability to utilize the challenges that you face off against, when you're giving yourself the ability to utilize the strengths that you have, when you're giving yourself the ability to study those motivational speakers, recognize that what they're doing is focusing. Recognize the stories they're sharing with you is their level of focus. It's what they've learned from the universe. It's their ability to use the tools that they have in the universe. So when we start doing this, when we start really get down with this, when we really start to listen to motivational speakers, there are many. There are many out there. Once Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was asked who is his greatest competition, he said, "Since I'm on top, my greatest competition is myself." Can you see that inside of yourself? Can you hear these people? Can you hear what they're saying? They're telling you the keys. They're giving you the answers. They're allowing you to see and to be able to cut through the universe in such a way that you can utilize it. Cut through the universe in such a way that you have it. Cut through the universe in such a way that it's a blessing. So when we start to focus to that level, when we start to get down with that place where we're truly listening to that stuff, we start to see how they're mastering it for themselves. This helps you to master your day. This helps you to have an ability to utilize a game plan. This has an ability to see where other people failed so you can succeed. This is a mastery of studying oneself. This is a mastery of being able to understand how they focus so you can utilize it. So they focus so that you can see the positivity coming your way. So the way that they focus, so the subconscious has the ability to be focused. So the subconscious has the ability to be utilized. So that the person that you are is in such a place that the reflection starts to radiate outwards as a level of reflection from your ability to listen to things, from your ability to listen to positivity, to see their place where they become a reflection of motivation, to where they become a reflection outwards of their level of focus, to where you can start to zero in on how they focus to do that, to where you can start to zero in to how they achieved what they did, to where you start to zero in on the ability that you have inside of yourself, to where you start to zero in and the ability to see the things that they used, see the abilities that they used, see the challenges that they faced off against, and how they overcame their own challenges. So as we start to get down with that, as we start to get those kind of connections, we're going to want to uplift people from our place of focus, from our ability to see this. And so when you become a reflection of motivation from your ability to see the positive and negative and start to become a positive person, the reflection backwards is other people start to see you. Other people start to see the challenges that you go through. Other people start to see that you can do it. And they start to ask you questions from your level of focus, from your ability to put yourself where you're truly starting to listen to positivity. And when that subconscious mind starts to get it, it starts to get to positivity, the reflection outward starts to happen for you. It starts to happen with you. And so when you allow your process of you to work, you allow you to use your gifts, you allow you to use your challenges, you allow you to use your thought process, you allow you to overcome your depth perception, you allow you to be in the place where you have the gifts that you have inside working in that way. The ability to listen to positivity starts to become a tool. The ability to listen to those people that have a reflection of motivation. So when you give yourself that, when you start to exercise your ability to use your tools, when you start to exercise your ability to use the ability to be positive, the ability to see positivity in the situation, to see positivity in the challenges, the utilization of that level of focus starts to come to you. So what kind of motivational speakers are there? There are a lot of motivational speakers. Anything that you're looking to do, any place that you're looking to go, any profession, there is a person who is focusing to the level where the reflection is radiating that, where they are focusing to the level where they are achieving that, where they are focusing to the level where the universe is using them as that tool. And so when you see them as that tool, recognize what they're doing is using their focus. They're using their foundation. They're using their ability. They're using their gifts. They're using their challenges to turn them positive. They're putting themselves in a place where they have truly what it takes. where they really, when the universe starts to ask the question, can you do this? Every single day, what you're seeing is they can. Every single day, what you're seeing is their ability to achieve it. Every single day, you're seeing their ability to overcome their own challenges. And when you are determined to focus to the point where other people won't go, you will achieve a place where others won't go. So once you start to focus to that level, once you start to give yourself that ability, once you start to face off against those kinds of challenges, and what is inside starts to radiate outwards, what is inside starts to become a place, you start to become a tool. That subconscious mind starts to be used. That subconscious mind starts to take the ability to see how others did it and starts to say, hey, how about if I try it? How about if I put myself in it? How about if I give myself that ability? You know, I look at stories like Gary Vee, for instance, 1,000 YouTube videos in a row consecutively. That level of focus is the reason why he achieved 50 million. Okay? I'm talking to you about stuff that truly works. As you start to see me progress, as you start to see me with that level of focus, recognize I'm still learning from those people. Recognize that I'm still utilizing the ability to understand it. Recognize that I'm still utilizing the level of focus. I'm looking to see where the focus is. I'm looking to see the Eric Thomas in the world. I'm looking for them to see the determination that I got inside of myself. I'm looking to let the universe recognize how focused this is. And you can do it too. You can achieve it in your positions, your days, your week, your companionships. You can achieve it when you truly are yourself. So I'm here for everybody. I'm here for the universe. I'm here for the blessings in the universe for you and I. And I want to tell you, you can do it. You can achieve it. You can become that kind of blessing in the universe. And there are people that have achieved it the same exact way. They have hit that place the same exact way. Look at the Les Browns. Look at the Michael Phelps. Look at these people who have focused to the point where others won't go. Look at how they achieved it. Look at how they were determined to the point where it didn't matter what happened around them. What happened is where their mentality was, the able mentality, the able ability, the able gifts that they have inside of themselves, the ability to use those challenges as a place of positivity. And so understanding all of that puts it in a place. To understand all of that gives you the ability to use those challenges in your favor, gives you the ability to use those things in a positive direction. When the universe starts to recognize that you are a positive person, positivity starts attracting itself to you. Positivity starts coming your way. Positivity starts working through you. Positivity starts working around you. And so when you let yourself be that, when you give yourself that, when you start to put yourself in a place of focus with that, when you start to recognize that you can do this, that you can achieve you, that you can achieve the things inside of you, that you have what it takes, that the things that you go through and the challenges that you go through on a daily basis are ultimately up to you to get up. They're ultimately up to you to listen to those positivity. It's ultimately up to you to do that stuff that they helped those people achieve their dreams, that helped those people achieve their place, that helped those people achieve their destiny. When you start to take control of your own future, when you start to take control of your own energy, when you start to put yourself in alignment with your path, when you start to give yourself that ability to take that responsibility for yourself, when you take that responsibility within yourself, when you focus to that level, where what you have inside is a place of reflection, where what you have inside is a understanding, what you have inside is the universe working through you, and that you are a tool in the universe, and that they are a tool in the universe, and what you're searching for is their ability to show you how those tools work. When we recognize this, when we recognize this level of focus, that's when you're not surprised when it's the results. That's not when you're surprised that they got where they are. That's not when you're surprised that they achieved those things that they achieved. And you can too. You can absolutely achieve your dreams. You can absolutely achieve the things that you want. You can absolutely get down with you. So let's get started. Let's go ahead and start getting into this, into mastering of the mind. when you focus to that level, when you use those tools, when you give yourself that ability, those things that are not meant for you, those negative things that are meant to leave your world, do it on their own. Focus on you. Focus on the one within you. Focus on the abilities with what you have. Focus on the ability to use those challenges in your favor. Take control of the reins of your life. So let's go ahead and start looking at quotes. Let's go ahead and start recognizing that when we get within ourselves, when we give ourselves that ability to focus to that level, when we start to face off against those challenges, when we start to see that we have what it takes, when we start to achieve a level where others wouldn't achieve, when we get to that place where we start to recognize this, when we start to recognize this to a level where focus starts to put the quotes in front of you, when we start to focus to the level where we start to recognize that there are masters throughout time, where we start to read the quotes of the masters throughout time, where we start to get to the places where things like the root of education are bitter, but the fruits is sweet. Do we start to become the students of ourselves? Aristotle. Let's go ahead and take a look at more Aristotle here. Let's go ahead and start getting down to this. Courage is the first of human qualities because it is the quality which guarantees the others. Give yourself that place of focus where you achieve it, where you have the courage to write stuff down, you have the courage to listen to positivity, where you have the courage to utilize you. And so here we go. Aristotle, number 4. It is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light. Masters of the past talking about it. When we are in the darkness, it's up to ourselves to get up. It is during our darkest moments that we must focus. Hear it? Masters of the past. This is Aristotle talking. To see the light. That means the foundation of light is focus. That means the foundation of utilizing that is you. When you can get there, you can see the light. That means that you can utilize the light. And these are masters of the past talking. Let's go ahead and go on for another one. Education is an omnet in the prosperity and a refuge in adversity. When you understand yourself, when you write stuff down, when you put it in front of yourself, when you give yourself the ability to have that place of focus, you start to become that student of your life. Let's go ahead and continue reading Aristotle's quotes. Bingo! Another quote why it's important to read quotes from the past. Quality is not an act. It is a habit. So if you want a quality life, if you want a place where riches come your way, you must become educated in yourself. If you want a place where quality comes your way, it must become a habit. This is Aristotle. So when we give ourselves that, when we truly give ourselves that ability to be the student inside of the classroom, the quality from within starts to radiate outwards. So Aristotle, if Aristotle is speaking about focus, if Aristotle is talking about these things, if understanding that the fruits in the universe come from you seeing that you are rich in the universe, that the energy inside of you is that the student inside of you is you, then utilization of these things are important. Let's go ahead and look at some other people. Let's go ahead and put in another person of great quotes. Eric Thomas. going to start breaking this down here. I want you guys to see this for yourselves. I want you to understand this. I want you to actually recognize that you are a gift in the universe. I want you to see the gifts and that these people have it out there. They truly do. When you want to succeed as much as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. When you want it as bad as you want to breathe, when you are so focused that the thing that you are going to become, you're going to become it. When you are that focused, then you will become that thing. Then you will face off against those challenges. Eric Thomas, there we go. Quotes throughout time that are here, guys. Quotes that are throughout time that talk about this place of foundation of focus. The ability to get to the place where you want it as bad as you can breathe. As bad as you want it, you have to want it for yourself. You gotta want it as bad as you can breathe. You gotta want it as bad as your mentality. You want to see those fruits in the universe? Create the habits. Create that level of focus where you are literally pulling up quotes and you are seeing the focus in the quotes. Give yourself that place. Give yourself the ability to see that degree. That degree within yourself. See that mastery within yourself. See that mastery around you from being you. Focusing to that level where you have that level of focus where you can be the student in your life. So let's go ahead and look at another. Let's go ahead and pull up Gary Vee quotes now. Okay, here we go. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and pull up some more of these quotes. I'm absolutely excited. I'm just picking a quote at random here. When you're, whether you're 9 or 99, stop trying to fix the things you're bad at and focus on the things you're good at. One thing I would change, Gary, if you can hear this message, I wouldn't talk about good or bad. I would talk about positive and negative forces in the universe. But you hit this dead on. You hit it dead on, directly on the point there. You literally explained it that way. That whether you're 9 or 99, you focus on the abilities that you do have. You put yourself in a foundation with the challenges that you have, and you use the strengths that you have to overcome your challenges. You give yourself that place. You put yourself in that place. Let's go ahead and pull up some Tony Robbins quotes now. Let's go ahead and start. Are you getting with me where this is a part of the same thing? Are you getting with me? Are you understanding what I'm saying? Are you on the same page at me at this point? Where we're talking about focus, we're talking about a foundation, we're talking about a mastery here. We're talking about an ability to utilize yourself to overcome your own challenges. We're talking about focusing to the place where you do that. Let's go ahead and pull up Tony Robbins quotes. I want you to see you can achieve it. I want you to see that you have it within you, that you can do this, that you can get to that place. Bingo. If you do what you always done, you always get what you always got. If you don't make changes in your life for you, if you don't give yourself the ability to be you, if you don't put down the level of focus inside of you where you start to master you, then the universe doesn't have the ability for you to master you. So this is talking about you versus you. You focusing to that level where you have it inside of yourself, where you can do this, where you can achieve this. Another one. This is talking about the universe moving these things out of your way. Identify your problems, but give your power and energy to the solution. Understand that the energy inside of you has the ability to focus with you, has the ability to utilize you, has the ability to help you to overcome your own challenges. Another quote of Tony Robbins: your past does not equal your future. Focus on your future. Focus on the ability to face off against the challenges that you face going forward. Give yourself the ability to overcome those challenges by moving forward. Give yourself the ability to see that you can do it, that you can get within yourself. And so this is where, from this point, we head inwards. We start recognizing that with that foundation, we can get within ourselves. With that foundation, we can face off against our challenges. With that foundation, we can utilize a level of focus. So when it starts to go inwards, it starts to connect with you. It starts to go from outside to in. When it starts to go within, recognize that is the process. That is the ability for you to be used in the universe. That the gifts that you have an ability. That the gifts that you have, you can face off against challenges. The gifts that you have are a mastery. The gifts that you have, the universe starts to create that kind of energy inside of yourself. That kind of ability within you. That kind of gifts within you. That kind of challenges within you. And so when you start to get to that place where you start to become that kind of student, when you start to give yourself that kind of place where you become that kind of reflection, it's not surprise when those are the results on the outside. It's no longer a surprise when on the outside the results become those things. So when you give yourself that, when you truly start to get down with that, when you start to get down within you, when you start to get to that place where what is inside of you starts to become a reflection on the outside, it is within you that you start to become the student. It is within you that that focus starts to become a practice, that it starts to actually become an ability, that it starts to be within you. And that's where the ability to start to get down with the second part of this is meditation, the reflection of self-study, the reflection of self-study to the place where you overcome your challenges. So let's go ahead and start breaking it down. When you are the student inside of you, when you are studying you, and you are using your homework, and you are giving yourself the ability to have homework, then you have the ability to learn. Then you have the ability to be you. Then you have the ability to not allow things that are not meant for you to move out of the way on their own. So let's get down to that place of study. Let's become that kind of student. Let's get into ourselves to that level. Let's get down to those kinds of challenges. Let's get down to those kinds of tests. So when we allow that universe to see us as that tool, you, me, as that tool in the universe, to recognize these things, to give ourselves this place, to give ourselves these kinds of challenges, that we can turn them positive, that we can actually literally change the way in which they happen around us, from being ourselves, from being who we are on the inside, from being who we are on our challenges, from being who we are inside of ourselves, from giving ourselves the place to focus, to be able to get within ourselves, to get down to that place where you are using what you have. It's not about what you don't have. It's about focusing on what you do have. Those gifts are within you. Those abilities are inside of you. Those challenges that you face off against are there for you. So when you see this in such a way, you start to recognize that waking up is worth it. Getting your day going is worth it. Putting habits in front of yourself is worth it. So when we start there, we actually start there. It gets within us that we start to become the student. The process starts to become the absorption. The process starts to become the manifestation. So the reflection starts to radiate outwards. It no longer comes down on you. You start to take control of your own reins. You get control of your own mind. You start to have an able mentality. You start to face off against your challenges in such a way that you start to overcome your challenges. So we start to get to that place. You start to get to that place right there where it's you. Where you are it. Where you have it. Where that is you. And so when we start to get down with that, we start to see that the student inside of ourselves, the energy inside of ourselves starts to open up. It starts to get to the place where we start to study the energy fields within ourselves. We start to study the ability to stand our ground, to be our human being, to be the ability for our thought process, to have the ability to utilize our heart, to utilize our voice, to utilize our depth perception, to utilize our nervous system. So when we start to get this type of stuff going, when we truly start to get this type of stuff going, this is when the expansion of light inside of ourselves starts to allow the knowledge to be freed from the things that are stopping it. And so as you start to see the knowledge inside of yourself start to work, as you give yourself the ability to see that you can extract it with the tool of focus, a foundation within yourself, a place where you are solidly you, where you are solidly that person, where you have that ability inside of yourself, where you face off against those kinds of challenges, where you overcome those kinds of challenges, where you get to that place where you got what it takes. Then we start to learn from ourselves. We start to see that that internal breath is the student. That center breath is the classroom. Talking about self-mastery, which is a reflection of meditation. I talk about focus for 30 minutes a day. I talk about meditation for 10 minutes a day. And I talk about inspiration for 20 minutes a day, every day. So when we get to that place inside of ourselves where we start to understand the energy fields, we start to understand how to utilize the energy fields. And on top of talking about that stuff, I also do energy readings, because I've been doing meditation for nearly a decade. So when we start to get to that place where we start to break down the knowledge inside of ourselves to where it frees itself, where the parts inside of you start to free themselves, where the energy inside of you starts to become utilizable, where the knowledge inside of you starts to become yours, where those things inside of you start to be utilized. When we start there, that simple place of starting to get to know ourselves, the breath starts to become your best friend. The breath starts to become your friend, like if you were sitting down reading a book by yourself. When you start to understand your energy inside of yourself, you have the ability to overcome your challenges. You have the ability to be who you are on the inside. You have the ability to utilize the things that you do have. And so when we get that, we give ourselves that, we face off against that. When we overcome that, then we start to utilize the gifts that we have. We start to utilize the knowledge inside of ourselves. We start to liberate ourselves. We start to see that our gifts start to help out other people. When we give ourselves that place, when we give ourselves those kinds of challenges, when we get to that place where what we are is focused beyond focus, mastery beyond mastery, when other people see it and they know it, like my friend here, Anna, she witnessed me stay in the sauna for hours on end. Okay? Other people think they're strong. When your mind is strong, your body is clay to the mind. True strength is in the mind. True strength is in the focus. True strength is the ability to be yourself, to speak your mind, to be who you truly are, to master the energy within yourself, to overcome the challenges that you face off against, and ultimately to be honest to yourself. So when I go into the sauna and I sit in there, and I used to sit in there for hours, I recognized that what it is the body is clay to the mind. So if the mind is strong, the mastery within oneself becomes a reflection on the outside. The mastery within oneself achieves a level of manifestation. The mastery within oneself achieves a level where you start to achieve a reflection on the outside. So as we start to focus to that level, where other people would just give up on just mastering the one thing that matters, themselves, becoming the best friend with themselves, being who they truly are on the inside, being who they truly are for themselves. When you allow yourself this, when you get down with yourself to that level of understanding you, You no longer have things that stop you from being yourself. And that is the part where the energies become a purpose. That is the part where reading the energy is important. That is the part where utilizing the energy is important. Utilizing it and syncing the energy up within yourself. Utilizing your strengths to overcome your weaknesses. Focusing into your strengths to the point where you have the ability to use them to overcome your weaknesses. So when we use these two, when we give ourselves that, that's the first stage of being a light in the universe. That's you picking yourself up in the darkness, as Aristotle would say. Giving yourself the place to understand you. Giving yourself the ability to overcome your challenges with your energy in a positive direction. So let's go ahead and talk about another piece. Inspiration. Discipline is that. Discipline is you. Discipline is the minute you wake up, the minute you go to bed, the things that you do during the day. They say how disciplined you are. How disciplined you are comes from an ability to focus and utilize your knowledge. When we utilize these, we give ourselves this. When we face off against these kinds of challenges and we start to overcome them, when we face off against these kinds of challenges and we understand the level of reflection, when we understand that knowledge and focus is the center of you, that you are focus and knowledge, this is the place of discipline. Are you in a place of discipline with yourself? Are you giving yourself the place where you are that light within you? Connect with my networks, motivation, meditation, inspiration, yoga. Ask yourself this question. Listen through my videos. Listen through how I speak about stuff. You'll start to see the alignment in the universe. You'll start to see the challenges in the universe. You'll start to see the blessings moving in your direction. You'll start to see the ability to overcome your challenges, to get to the place where focus and knowledge utilizes you, where focus and knowledge uses the gifts that you have, where focus and knowledge has the ability for you to see the blessing that you are, that your relation with the Most High God is important, that your ability to be yourself is important, your ability to face off against your own challenges is important. So when we give ourselves the ability to be a blessing, when we utilize the blessings we have, when we use that focus and there's no fear behind, when we recognize that there's no place for it to go but away from you, when we give ourselves the ability to be our own foundation, to have the place within ourselves where we lighten other people's worlds from us being ourselves, where we lighten other people's worlds from us going through our own challenges, where we lighten other people's loads because we master our own self. When we get to that place where we truly are disciplined, where we're at it on a daily, where it becomes a habit, where it becomes a mastery, then the universe yields. The universe gives you gifts. It gives you challenges. It gives you blessings from the ability for you to put your mindset as a blessing, from you having the ability to see the knowledge and the focus in such a way that it becomes a mastery, that it becomes a place of positivity, that it becomes a challenge within yourself to overcome it, that you can do it when you are you and your knowledge centered inside of yourself. When you are truly centered, when you are so disciplined that you identify with you. You identify with yourself. You identify with the things that you go through. You identify with your day, your week, your month. You want to have them. You look forward to the next day. You look forward to the ability to go to sleep because you're getting up to do the things that you want to do. You're getting up to use your focus and your knowledge centered within yourself. You're getting up because you know you can. And that is a blessing. This is a blessing. The challenges we go through is a blessing. The things that we face off against are blessings. The ability to see it is an able mentality. The ability to extract it is to see the first seed of knowledge, to see that first time you experience that, to see how you can turn that positive, how you can use that in such a way that you can use that to overcome your challenges. Are you giving yourself that? Are you truly giving yourself that? Ask yourself that question. When you sit down, when you go through those things that you go through those art forms, such as reading cards, such as speaking out, which is an art form, which is putting yourself in a place, such as writing it down, such as reading it, such as listening to it, such as being within yourself, such as feeling it. Are you with you? Ask yourself that question. And so when you see these tools, when you see these abilities, when you see these challenges, when you see these happening for you, when you start to master them for yourself, when you start to put yourself in that place, when you start to give yourself that ability, when you start to speak that out, when you start to read that out, when you start to write that out, when you start to sing that out, you utilize you. You have you. You are your greatest competition, as Dwayne said, but you are also your greatest friend. Utilize you as that blessing. Utilize that knowledge and that focus, that place that you have, that relation with the Most High and the universe to a level where you use 100% you, and the remainder comes from the universe. The remainder comes from the Most High. The remainder comes from the understanding. The remainder comes from the challenges. The remainder comes from the ability. The remainder comes from the reflection. The remainder comes from you seeing you. You see you is a blessing in your life. The minute you see you and you spend time with you, the minute you give you you, I mean, really give you you. Give you the reins to your life. You start to achieve things. You start to do things others wouldn't be able to do. You start to go through things others wouldn't be able to go through. You start to see that you are a blessing in the universe. You start to see that the universe has the ability to use your blessings. You start to see that the things that you challenge yourself to do, you can overcome. I want you to see your knowledge and focus can be applied to a place where you are that discipline. I want you to see that that knowledge and focus can be applied to the place where other people can be lighted up from you being you, where you can see you, where you could face off against you and say, I can do this, and sit down and practice and practice and practice to the point where you're positive, and put yourself in a place where others wouldn't go, so you can achieve what you want to achieve, so you can achieve what you have inside of yourself, so you can be the person with you to that level, where you can face off against those kinds of challenges, where you can find that kind of reflection, where you can find that ability, where you can find that centering, where you truly know you inside of you. Are you your best friend? Ask yourself that question. If not, let's get to work. Motivation, meditation, inspiration, yoga. Energy readings. Understanding the energy inside of your body. Understanding how the energy flows through your body. How you can utilize your strengths to overcome your weaknesses. To understand the energy inside of yourself. To understand how the energy reads inside of you. How it has a purpose for you. How the challenges within you are there for you. Self-study. Giving yourself the ability to recognize that you have the knowledge inside of yourself. That you have the ability to gain access to it. That those things that might have stopped you no longer have the ability to. The ability for fear to move out of the way, for emotion to move out of the way, for the true knowledge to come out. The true energy inside of yourself. Self-reflection. Meditation. Inspiration. Focus, knowledge, together. The whole self. The internal breath as the student. The center breath as the classroom, and the outgoing breath as the teacher with the test. Do you give yourself that classroom of you? Because it is capable within you. Inspiration, mentoring, utilizing your own knowledge, your own focus to a place where you allow other people to achieve it for themselves, where you allow other people to achieve it within themselves, where you allow other people to become it for themselves, where they start to focus within themselves, where they start to get down with their challenges within themselves, where they start to understand themselves. These are masteries. Inspiration is what I strive to be. A master of knowledge and focus, to the centering of place of discipline, that the light of inspiration would be upon you. The light of inspiration would lighten your day, would lighten your way, which would uplift you, that you would see beyond the strengths that hold you back. When you start to see you can do it for yourself, that you can achieve it within yourself, that you can become it within yourself, that you can master it within yourself, that you have what it takes. That you have what it takes, and that what you have inside of yourself is a blessing. Utilize your knowledge, utilize your focus. If you are a certain type of professional in anything, recognize that you achieve those from a level of focus. You achieve those from utilization of the knowledge which you have, which is sufficient. When you expand your knowledge, because you are being a student of yourself, when you are utilizing the ability to use what you have, when you are utilizing the ability to use the challenges that you go through, when you are utilizing the ability to be who you are on the inside, when you are utilizing the ability to be who you are, when you focus to that level, you give yourself that liberation. You give yourself that freedom. You give the universe the ability to see those ripples. You give the ability for the universe to see that load lighten for others from you being yourself. Can you see that inside of you? Can you allow yourself that? Can you allow yourself to be that kind of light? It is within us all. It's for us all to see it. It's for us all to achieve it. It's for us all to recognize it. It's for us all to see that we can do it. We can be it. We can become it. We can master it. We can enjoy the process of focus. Then enjoy the process of extraction of knowledge. Understand the center of oneself. Understand the being of oneself. Understand the ability of oneself to be a blessing in the universe. To be a relation with the Most High and the universe to the point where it utilizes you. You are a blessing in this universe. You are a light in this universe. And some of us are in darkness till we decide to get up. Till we decide to start facing and start heading towards the light. Where we start to focus to the level where we achieve it. Where we focus to the level where we become it. Where we focus to the level where we overcome it. And so when we get to that place where mountains are no longer too high for us, valleys are no longer too low, where we utilize them at a place where it's you and you have the ability to face off against your challenges, the universe has the ability to use you as a blessing. So as you see yourself as that blessing, leave blessings for others. Leave blessings for others so they can see the blessings in themselves. So they can see that you bless them. That you put such a place of bringing blessings to their life from you being you. From you absolutely being you. You will see a manifestation radiate light outwards. That other people will come your way. They will be there to uplift you. They will be there to help you to overcome your own challenges. And they will overcome their own challenges when you learn to be yourself. When you learn to truly be you to have your true relationship with the Most High God, to see the blessings inside of you, to pick yourself up and say, I'm going to be positive. I'm going to be a light in the universe. This universe creates ripples to the point where blessings come your way. I just want to say, everybody, such a great session. Connect with the networks, motivation, meditation, inspiration, yoga, my YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Periscope, my Twitter. I'm out there. I'm here. If you need my services, they're there for you on my websites. And I just leave me a comment. Let me know that's what you would like to do. And we'll get connected. We'll go ahead and get one of those set up. I do hope that you are a blessing. I want to leave you with blessings, and I want you to recognize that you are a blessing in this universe. And namaste.